And it's with great pleasure that I introduce guest speaker, retired Depoe Postmaster, Tanya York.
He has to adjust it. I'm kind of a short person. Thank you. 9 years ago, Captain Kangaroo passed away at 76 years of age, which seemed kind of odd, since he always looked like he was 76. Now, you're probably wondering what that has to do with Memorial Day. Well, reading about his death reminded me of the following story. Over the years, there have been many people who were offended that actor Lee Marvin is buried alongside 3- and 4-star generals in Arlington National Cemetery. Since his marker gives his name, his rank of private, and his branch of service, U.S. Marine Corps, and nothing else. Here's a guy who was only a movie star and served his hitch. Why the heck does he rate being buried with these guys? Well, at a time when many actors served their country in the armed forces, often in rear echelon posts where they were carefully protected only to be trotted out to perform for the cameras in the war bond promotions, Lee Marvin was a genuine hero. He won the Navy Cross at Iwo Jima. There's only one higher naval award, and that's the Medal of Honor. Once, Lee was a guest on the Johnny Carson show, and Johnny commented that he bet not many people were aware that Lee was a Marine in the initial landing at Iwo Jima, and during the course of action had earned the Navy Cross and was severely wounded. Lee remarked, "Yeah, I got shot square in the behind while securing a hot spot halfway up Suribachi, and they gave me the cross." You know the worst thing about getting shot up on a mountain? Is the guys that get shot carrying you down. Lee then got this look on his face and began telling how he had served under the bravest man he'd ever known. He said they both received the cross the same day, but what that sergeant did for his cross made Lee's look cheap in comparison. He said that dumb guy, he actually stood up on Red Beach and directed his troops to move forward and get off the beach. Bullets were flying everywhere, mortar rounds landing everywhere, and he stood there as the main target so that he could get his men to safety. He did this on more than one occasion because his men's safety was worth more than his own life. As Lee was brought down off that mountain, they passed the sergeant, and he joked and said, "Lee, if you make it home before me, tell Mom to sell the outhouse." Lee Marvin told how he and that sergeant remained lifelong friends. That sergeant's name was Bob Keyshaw. You and I and the rest of the world knew him as Captain Kangaroo. And then there was this slender, gentle, soft-spoken man that we all know well. Mr. Rogers is another that you wouldn't suspect of being anything but the man that he portrayed to our youth over the years. But Mr. Rogers was a Navy SEAL and combat proven in Vietnam with more than 25 kills. He was a master in small arms and hand-to-hand combat, able to disarm a man and kill in a heartbeat. After the war, Mr. Rogers became an ordained Presbyterian minister and a pacifist, and he vowed he'd never harm another human being. He wore long-sleeved sweaters on TV to cover the many tattoos on his arms. Well, he hid away those tattoos and dedicated the rest of his life trying to help lead children on the right path in life, and in the process won our hearts with his quiet wit and charm. So you see, folks, America's real heroes don't flaunt what they do or what they did. They quietly go about their day-to-day lives. They earned our respect and the freedoms and safety of their fellow Americans. That's enough for them. Look around. You'll see some of these heroes in your midst. Often, they're the ones you'd least expect, but would want on your side if anything happened. Take the time, folks, to thank anyone that has fought for our freedoms. Who knows? They just might be the next Captain Kangaroo or Mr. Rogers. I have a couple people I'd like to recognize here today. We have E4 Miles Lockhart, that is a veteran of Iraq, and he came down from Washington today to join us in our ceremonies. And then we have a father-son veterans, Staff Sergeant Clinton Summerall, served during Desert Storm time, and his son, Alex Chang, who is still in the Army at this point in time and just returned from Afghanistan. Chief Bosun's Mate Beth Slade and Senior Chief David Pierce, could you please step forward for a moment? Chief Bosun's Mate Slade, as you go to your new assignment, we want to make sure that you never forget your participation in the 68th Annual Depoe Bay Fleet of Flowers. So we have something for you. Senior Chief Pierce, we want to say thank you for all you do and all your crew do. So on behalf of the Fleet of Flowers Committee and the grateful citizens of Depoe Bay, we would like to present to you and the Hole in the Wall gang a framed copy of the Fleet of Flowers 2013 poster that was signed by members of the Fleet of Flowers Committee and the volunteers who worked to make the wreaths bedecking the many boats today. Thank you from the bottoms of our heart for all you do for so many. Would all the veterans either stand or raise your hands, please? Stand if you are capable, raise your hands if you are not. Okay. There's some folks that are going to be walking around amongst you, and they have something for you. Today, we want to present each of you veterans with a Purple Heart stamp that has been enclosed in a protective sleeve. It may not be the real thing, folks, but it's our small way here in Depoe Bay of saying that you are all our heroes, and to say thank you for serving our great nation. Thank you.